de Guadalajara fue Wener Herzog.
En reconocimiento a su increíble trayectoria de 60 películas, Herzog recibió el Mayagüel de Plata en la ceremonia inaugural del festival.
Dentro de las actividades del Talent Campus en Guadalajara, Wener Herzog impartió la conferencia magistral titulada Viaje en búsqueda de la rareza.
Wener Herzog ha realizado ya 60 películas, también actuó en 18 películas, sobrevivió en México trabajando allá en un rodeo y también pasando televisores por la frontera legalmente de 18 años. Le han disparado, ha tenido que comer un zapato, camino de Múnich a París para llevar a su amiga Lotte Eisner.
It is embarrassing to say that I think I'm the only professional filmmaker who made professional films in all continents, including Antarctica. Of course, my quests, my voyages, my search for images has taken me a lot around. And today it is very easy to make films. Technical instruments are inexpensive and very professional. And today there is no excuse. And at the same time I have the feeling you should, as young people starting out in cinema, do some very basic things like travel on foot, cross Mexico on foot, and because the world opens itself, the world reveals itself for those who are on foot. So I feel a close affinity to people like Hemingway or Joseph Conrad, and including Juan Rulfo. Juan Rulfo was someone who traveled all up and down Mexico selling tires for cars, and he was a great poet, and Pedro Páramo is, in my opinion, the finest piece of not just Mexican literature, but all of Latin America. There's no one for me, no one of his caliber. And it is this experiencing the land and experiencing the poetry behind everything. Something, a deep vision. And Pedro Páramo is a book to which I go back and back and back again. I can, whole passages I could recite by heart. I have a feeling that you should, as filmmakers, and I'm speaking to a crowd of filmmakers, I guess, go into poetry. When I write a screenplay, I only have a story and I see an entire film as if you were seeing it on a screen. And this is why I write very fast. Here it was written in 2.5 days. And I've never written more than 1 week on a screenplay. But for warming up, I would read Pedro Páramo, I would read Chinese poets of the Tang period, I would read some of the great German poets. I go into poetry, and all of a sudden it becomes extremely easy, and I just write as fast. I can write very, very fast, and I could do a screenplay in 2 days, or maybe 3 days, 5 days. I've always been somebody who has said to people who want to go to film school, yes, go to film school, but earn your money as a bouncer in a sex club. Earn your money by working in a lunatic asylum. Learn how to forge documents. Learn how to pick locks. How do you open a safety lock?
El maestro Herzog concedió muy generosamente una entrevista exclusiva para Cine Secuencias.
Of course I make choices because I know sometimes I shouldn't really waste much energy, but there are moments where I immediately know this is big. Like, let's say, Grizzly Man, which came at me in a complete chain of coincidences. And I immediately knew I have to do this now because it was so intense coming at me, something I cannot really tell you how do I make choices. Sure, there are some moments in films where you have the feeling like human beings are somehow at the borderline of their possibilities, and
And when you're looking at a human being under pressure, under duress, under danger or whatever, you probably see deeper into a person, like the same person just cooking a steak at the grill. It's a little bit like understanding a metal. You have an unknown alloy of metal, and you will understand the nature of this metal if you put it under extreme heat, under extreme radiation, and under extreme pressure. All of a sudden, this piece of metal reveals its inner nature. And it's a little bit, sometimes, as human beings, we function the same way. And you cannot really explain how poetry, for example, poetry all of a sudden illuminates us. Cinema can do this as well in rare moments, and I'm trying to find these moments, and it's always moments which are beyond the sheer facts. You see, my cinema is not really that much fact-oriented. Oh, I make no documentaries. Yeah, number one, it's all movies, and most of them are feature films in disguise. They pretend to be documentaries, but they are not. I do things where I even invent facts, and where I stylize, and where I put the audience into a moment of complete fantasies, and I take them seriously and they notice it. And in these moments of illumination, yes, they are possible, not very often. And I'm trying to find these moments. It's a very, very complex sort of thing. It has to do with storytelling, has to do with images, has to do with grammar of images, has to do with music, poetry, and very often you have to understand how to allow the audience to develop a separate story, a separate reality in your hearts, which is beyond, somewhere outside of the film. There's also, it's not just storytelling. Storytelling always means to create a secondary story inside of an audience. Well, in Heart of Glass, yes, actors are playing under hypnosis, but so deep under hypnosis that they would open their eyes without waking up. It's just part of the story. It's Bavarian mythology, it's folk legends. Of course, it's my real Bavarian film. And all my other films, including, by the way, FICG+Talent, are also Bavarian films.
Also Agere?
Yes, Bavarian. It doesn't matter that I leave my country. I never leave my culture.
You filmed in Mexico, so you also pilgrimage?
Yes.
Can you tell us about?
Well, I was fascinated by the pilgrims. I was fascinated by La Virgen de Guadalupe, because I think Mexicans, yes, they are Catholics, but deep in their heart they are something else as well. They love and venerate the Virgin of Guadalupe, and it has such a incredible, there's such an emotion, such an intensity, such a deep quest of the heart, and it's so visible, so I shot a film there.
No se te ocurra cambiarle de canal, porque a continuación viene
El estreno de Viaje Redondo, la nueva y multigalardonada peli de Gerardo Tor.
y la convocatoria para el Festival de Cortometrajes Short Shorts.